Do you want the UK to have more nuclear weapons? Should the best-behaved children get food first at school? And we're going to try to explain what happened last night in the House of Commons. It won't be easy. With me, Jeremy Vine. Okay, are we ready?
Ready, Mr.
Fine!
Fine!
22nd of February. And joining us today, we've only got journalist Yasmin Alibi-Brown and former Met Police Detective Peter Bleksley. Welcome both. This is what's on the show. First, does the UK need more nuclear weapons? Defence Secretary Grant Shapps said the UK's ability to defend itself remains beyond doubt, despite a very embarrassing failed Trident missile test, where the missile just went plop, apparently. Would you feel safer with a bigger, stronger deterrent? Then should the best-behaved pupils get food first? A school in Brighton has started doing this, putting the best-performing students at the front of the canteen queue. Parents have called the plan Dickensian, but the school argues it's made things quicker and safer. Do you think that's right? Then should pensioners who still want to work be guaranteed a job interview? The celebrity chef Rick Stein has spoken about his father's early retirement and subsequent suicide. He wants employers to give older people a chance. Should we prioritise OAPs during recruitment, or is that actually just another blow for the young people? Then it's the papers and everything else. We're going to discuss Liz Truss giving her backing to Donald Trump and talking about how she could turn the West around. At 11:15, Storm will debate whether the NHS should begin charging for some services. 12:45, Matt Allwright is here, joined by Traitor star Amanda Lovett, and she'll have tips on how to ask for a pay rise with Alexis Conrad and friends. Let me show you how to get in touch. Very easy. Oh, we got, we've got Dick Dastardly today. What about that? 020, I've never seen this one before. 78622222 is the number, says Dick Dastardly. It's 16p a minute, as you know. And I think Muttley wants to point out that mobile phones can cost a little bit more, so just be wary on the blow-up. Then we've got Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Insta, and X, formerly Twitter. On all of them, just type Jeremy Vine on 5 when you're on them, and you'll find us. And the YouTube channel has got our greatest hits on. Type Jeremy Vine on 5.
We will, Mr. Vine! Jerry Vine!
Hey, here's some news that we could start with. The BT Tower. Have you heard about this?
No, Mr. Vine!
It's called the Post Office Tower.
Years and years ago, it had a restaurant.
Yes.
I went there.
So did I. That's amazing.
It was wonderful.
So basically, just to explain, this is in the middle of London, sort of Fitzrovia area, quite near Oxford. Back in the day, we think it was. That's you in the middle there.
That's me.
So, is it you? Yes. It was opened, we think, in about 1965. That's the year I was born.
My wife every Friday after the shop and the same holidays and full time for Jerry
I
Vine.
remember when I was about maybe 6 or 7, my mum taking me to the restaurant. Because you say what was special about it.
Well, it was this very, almost, you didn't know it was happening. Slowly it's going round, and you're seeing the wonderful place that London is and was. And it must have gone in the 70s, mid-70s with my brother. And then they closed it down, didn't they? The restaurant was closed down.
Well, they had a problem. They were worried that someone, if we have another look at it, well, Peter, you'll relate to this. They thought that the terrorist attack in London, by the IRA actually, would be to go to the top of it and blow the whole thing up.
And that's exactly what they did. They set off a bomb.
They tried, but that wasn't the IRA. That was some weirdo anarchist group, wasn't it, or something?
Well,
it was some...
Either way, a bomb was placed there and detonated. Yeah, which caused a lot of damage.
Oh, did it? I didn't know it went off. Because they just said, look, we can't allow this to become a terrorist target. And then it was shut down.
Yeah.
Seemed wrong somehow.
It does, and look at us now. We've got all these buildings, 50 stories high, all around central London.
Yeah, but there was something about that one. So the deal is it's going to become a hotel, being sold for 275 million, which doesn't seem that much for something so iconic.
No, Jerry Vine!
But the thing I remember, my mum and dad didn't have very much money to do so. It must have been quite a treat to go there. It revolved once during the meal, so I remember being fascinated. I was about 7 or 8. At this crack in the floor that was moving like that. And the food was horrible.
The food wasn't good.
Even...
Oh, Jerry Vine! We eat this food, not horrible food!
It dominated the landscape for a long time. The NatWest Tower didn't come along for some years, and that was the only thing that got anywhere near competing with it in terms of height.
But people
So
forget in
truly iconic.
that's true. Yeah, people forget in London in the 70s. You go, you know, all you've got a sandwich, cheese sandwich is all you can get.
Yeah, the food was bad
It was,
everywhere.
well, it was bad.
So
Yeah.
how did you know at that age that it was bad?
Well, that's what worries me.
It worries me too.
But maybe my mum's a great cook, and she, you know, it wasn't up to her standard. So, all right, then there's another thing, right? And this is really unfortunate. The debate about Gaza in
Oh,
Parliament
baby sad day
yesterday
when you back
just
home.
descended into
So
chaos.
nice
It's
to
really
keep
an embarrassment.
the
Calls by Labour for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza were approved by Parliament last night.
Yay!
The decision was overshadowed by SNP and Tory MPs who had their own statements on the conflict and the demands of Israel walking out after
not watching the news, are you?
of showing
No.
bias towards Labour.
Jeremy Boyd.
And I know
Yes.
you're thinking, you think this makes no sense at all. So
She
I'm
does
gonna
the
try-
job, but everyone is Friday.
and I'm going to try and explain what went on in the House of Commons last night. Now, this is not easy, okay? But let's just
Okay,
say,
Mr. Fine.
actually, what went on is quite simple. And I was watching all the websites, The Guardian, they're all... I mean, let's slow it down. Freeze it. Okay. Let's just take this one player at a time. And I'm going to use 4 playing cards here. So let's just take 4 aces here. And each ace represents a person involved. So the first one is Stephen Flynn, SNP. What's their role? It's their debate day. They're actually at the centre of it. Penny Mordaunt, Conservative, her role. Traditionally, the government would supply an amendment to the SNP motion. Keir Starmer for Labour, he's worried. He's trying to avoid a party split. He doesn't want the MPs to vote.
So way they
And
find
then
you
you've got
back
the Speaker. And I'm
home.
going to put question marks here because it's not clear what his motivation was. He's a former Labour MP. What was he doing? So the SNP have their motion. The government, Penny Mordaunt, supply their amendment. So far, this is custom and practice. This is what always happens. What has never, hardly ever happened before is the Speaker then says, I'll allow the opposition to have an amendment as well. By doing that, Keir Starmer has a get-out, because then he's done a watered-down amendment, and his MPs can vote for it, and he avoids a split. But the SNP then go ballistic, because they say, what's the point of us being here? This is our debate day. And they and the Conservatives walk out, and the focus is then on the Speaker. What on earth was he playing at? And over 30 MPs have now called for Sir Lindsay Hoyle to get the axe. He ended up last night apologising.
I regret how it's ended up. It was not my intention. I wanted all to ensure they could express their views and all sides of the House could vote. I am, and I regret, with the deepness, with my sadness, that it's ended up all like that, in this position. That was never my intention for it to end up like this.
I mean, it is just a national embarrassment, this, Peter, isn't it?
Yes,
Politicians
very
go
fine.
on the telly, and when they're asked why they went into politics, they say, oh, because I wanted to do good. Well, actually, that's a bit of a lie. They went into politics because they
Very
were
fine. Very fine.
But what they actually do is they do it all the time.
Ryan is naughty.
Yesterday, the House of Commons had the opportunity to come together and send a unified and clear message. But they didn't, because their egos and their self-interest got in the way. Shame on the lot of them.
What do you think, Yasmin?
Couldn't improve on that one bit.
You didn't like the Labour motion. You would
No,
rather go with the SNP one. The SNP one was tougher.
I wanted the S&P one to go through, but actually what happened, you watch these scenes and you think, at that moment, intensified attacks were being mounted in Rafah, which is the size of 2 airports. And here are these guys, for their own interest, as Peter has very eloquently said, for their own ambitions, failing utterly to do the decent and grown-up thing. I couldn't sleep last night. I was
Naughty, very fine.
I mean, you remember the time I was saying to Peter earlier?
Naughty,
when you
very
used to laugh at the
fine.
elections in Parliament
We
when they were
did
at each other,
it.
shouted at each other, and you
Oh,
thought we were so superior and civilized.
It's a real shame. It's a real
And actually, the
embarrassment.
person I'm most cross with
was doing something to get himself out of trouble.
That's all he said. He has no, as far as I can see, he has shown no interest or compassion for those people.
He's trying to avoid on his side. He's trying to avoid a split and all that. However, that's
It's
politics.
not about
I know.
politics. It's about the dying.
I know. And what we want to do is showing 4 or 5 clips of very saying this or something like it. Instead, we just got another pantomime. It's appalling. Okay, after the break, we're asking if the UK needs more nuclear weapons after a Trident missile plopped into the ocean on a recent test. Should we get more of them so we have more plops? That, I don't know. Or fewer that work properly. Give us a call now with your thoughts. 020 7862 2222.
We will.
15 years ago today, Heath Ledger won an Oscar for playing the Joker in The Dark Knight. But what was the character's catchphrase? Was it, how am I funny? Why so serious? Or, you having a laugh? Answer coming.
David, bye.